Police in the city of Edmonton have released video of a cave which they say was being used as a shelter for someone.
What is that?
This place was discovered by cavers in 1994 and then closed off to the public immediately. Very few people have ever been allowed in.
Hosting the oddities of the world and hiding the dangers of the dark. There is a reason why some caves are sealed by authorities, but stumbling over the creepy remains and encountering the unusual creatures. These people gave their all to explore what's inside. So you better stay for the creepiest adventures that left everyone on the edge. Glowing eyes are scary, yes, but what if you encounter something that was faceless? After a hiking trip, this person decided to explore an open cave with his loyal shepherd dog. As they went deeper into the winding tunnels, an unsettling feeling began to creep in. In the distance, he noticed a faceless figure standing silently and seemed to be watching him. The figure was tall, draped in what appeared to be a long black robe. The cave was already very creepy, and the faceless figure didn't move an inch. The man hesitated as he was torn between the urge to investigate further and the instinct to turn back.
What is that?
He obviously chose the latter, hence the reason we have this video. Alien in Brazilian caves. Next up, we have this local man of Brazil who recently had a bizarre experience exploring the deep caves. While venturing into one of the darker caverns, he was stunned to spot a strange alien-like figure lurking in the shadows. From the footage, we can see that the creature's glowing eyes were locked onto him. It was such an unsettling moment. Despite being startled, the man pulled out his camera and began recording. The being didn't move. Its eyes really stood out in the dim cave. Lost skull.
Letty was discovered in one of the most extreme spaces within.
During an ongoing exploration, scientists within one of Africa's most challenging caves. In 2013, they uncovered the skull of Homo naledi, which is a primate species. It was named Letty and was found in an extremely narrow and remote section of the cave. The passage leading to Letty's resting place was only 15 centimeters wide and 80 centimeters long, making it very hard to reach. Letty's skull belonged to someone between 4 to 6 years old.
I think that this little 4 to 6 year old child, 200 to 300,000 years ago,
and it sat alone on a small limestone shelf. She lived roughly 200,000 to 300,000 years ago, and her being in such an isolated space is still a mystery. Some believe that a relative might have placed her there, suggesting early burial practices.
other than by the hands of another hominid.
Hobbit Thieves. In a village near South Africa, locals have begun seeing strange creatures they believed were aliens. These mysterious beings not only appeared unexpectedly, but also started stealing items from the villagers, like tools and everyday objects. And it is not a one-time occurrence. This has happened many times to different people. The villagers watched as the aliens carried the stolen goods and disappeared into a hidden cave nearby. These things also looked very unusual, almost like hobbits. Lake of Forgotten Cars.
Oh my god. Dude, this is amazing.
In the UK, there is a lake that seems to be surrounded by a hill made entirely of cars. Reports indicated that about 100 vehicles had been dumped there. These many cars being found in a single spot is very suspicious. Two friends decided to check it out. They hopped into a small boat and paddled across the calm water to get a closer look. As they approached, they were amazed by what they saw. The hill of cars was like a graveyard, with old, rusted vehicles partially submerged and others piled up. Were these cars abandoned due to something sinister or something truly mysterious?
Wow, this is a place I'll never forget.
Scary Radiation Cave. In the mountains of Japan, there's a strange tunnel that goes 1,500 feet deep. It was used by soldiers during World War II and has been abandoned for many years. A team decided to check it out. As they entered the dark tunnel, they started taking radiation readings, but soon, odd things began happening. Some members felt sudden chills and heard strange whispers that echoed in the narrow spaces. Others thought they saw shadowy figures moving around, making it hard to concentrate on their work. Feeling scared, the team chose to leave the tunnel behind, believing they were not alone. Dragon-like skull. This next video comes from Brazil, where a man was digging a shaft when his shovel hit something hard. At first, he thought it was just a large rock, but as he dug deeper to remove it, he realized it wasn't a rock at all. It felt more like a bone. What he uncovered appeared to be the skull of a dragon buried at the bottom of the shaft. The head was massive. I mean, just look at it. This is much larger than any skull I have ever seen. The man quickly snapped photos and called in a team of archaeologists to investigate. When it was uploaded in Reddit, people speculated that there might be more buried beneath. Pyramid secret. This next video will defy everything you know about ancient Egypt. While workers were busy at the pyramids in Egypt, one of them struck something unusual beneath the sand. As he dug deeper, he uncovered remains of a giant lying next to the remains of a strange creature. Yes, a skull with a body of a strange figure. The creature's spine was incredibly long, much larger than the giant beside it, suggesting it once belonged to a massive animal. The discovery left everyone in awe as they examined the skeletons. Scientists are still questioning what kind of ancient, giant creatures could have shared this land with humans. Strange, eerie figure.
تعالي.
What's the strangest thing you think you'd run into while exploring a cave? Believe me, things can get weird real quick. While exploring a cave in Hawaii, a group of adventurers heard a strange, eerie sound echoing from deep within. In the corner of the cave, they saw a figure sitting. It was draped in a black cloak, huddled with its back turned to them. The creature didn't seem to notice them, yet it continued making bizarre, unsettling noises. Without hesitation, the group decided it was time to leave, fast. Strange being. What would you do if some otherworldly being was going after your cattle? In the mountains of Saudi Arabia, shepherds started noticing their goats mysteriously disappearing in the night. After several days of searching, they followed clues that led them to a rocky cave. As they got closer, they saw something inside the cave was a creature with a frightening face and large, glowing red eyes. It stared back at them from the shadows. After a while, it just vanished. What do you think it was? Owl and alien. This next video comes from Turkey, where a man had a pet owl, but he accidentally left the cage open. So before he knew it, the owl soared into the sky. The man quickly ran after the bird, which headed straight for a dark cave. He followed the owl into the cave. He switched on his flashlight and scanned the rocky walls. At first, he was relieved to see his owl perched on a ledge, but then, when he shone the light around again, he was shocked to spot an unusual creature hiding in the shadows. Just pause and look closely. You will realize it looks very alien. What was this thing doing in the cave? A sinister encounter. In the rugged mountains of Afghanistan, two men went searching for their friend who had vanished into a network of caves. After hours of searching, they finally found him sitting alone in a dimly lit cave, looking completely out of it. Next to him, there was a strange creature. The men rushed to their friend's side. When one of them touched him, their friend suddenly collapsed, but he was still alive. It looked like the creature had a hold on him. Their friend's eyes rolled back. They had to act fast to save their friend from whatever dark force was controlling him. They pulled him away from the creature and fled the area. Strange climber. Moving on, while exploring a remote cave, a man recorded this pale figure climbing along the ceiling without any safety gear. It could not be a human, because why would a human even do this? It seems very much like a cryptid, or perhaps some other strange being hiding in the shadows. The figure moved quietly, as if it was trying to analyze its surroundings and the person recording him. If you look closely, you will realize it has a very ghostly look. After watching the footage again, he began to think about other possibilities. Was this a ghost roaming the depths of the cave, or maybe a spirit that protects the cave's secrets? Trapped in the caves. In this next video, a strange creature was discovered trapped in a cave in Mexico. It looked like the creature had entered the cave and made it its home. However, something went wrong, and part of the cave collapsed, leaving the creature stuck there. The explorers who found it were stunned. The creature didn't look like anything from this world. It had an alien-like appearance, with features that seemed like it was from Hobbit. Its body was twisted, as if it had been living in an entirely different environment. Chilling catacomb discovery.
This place freaking us out.
Would you keep exploring if a faceless figure appeared during your exploration? A group of friends exploring old catacombs suddenly came face to face with a figure, pale and draped in white cloth. It was standing eerily. The figure seemed like the ghost of a former patient who had lost their life in these dark, forgotten tunnels. It was really scary, and one of the friends could not bear it, so he just made a run for it. As others stared at the figure, their minds raced. Was it a spirit trying to share its story?
This place freaking us out.
This is something I would not want to experience on my adventures. Face in the cave. Now get ready to witness a face like never before. A group of explorers were exploring the caves in Oklahoma when they came across a really mysterious wall. What's so weird about it? Well, there was a face carved into the rock. It had very detailed features: nose, full lips, and a striking third eye positioned on its forehead. They felt an odd sensation, almost as if the face was observing them. It might be the work of an ancient civilization that had once called this cave home. Imagine coming across something like this so casually. I will not stop talking about it. The curious image. Recently, this photo has surfaced on the internet, and many people believe he captured a mysterious image of two girls. This has led to a lot of speculation. Who were those girls, and what were they doing there? Some wonder if they are from another world, while others think they might just be family members. As the story spread, different ideas emerged. Some folks suggested the girls looked like spirits or beings from another realm. What's your take on this? Tunnel monster. A strange monster was recently caught moving through dark tunnels in South Africa. Another user decided to brighten and stabilize the footage to see the creature more clearly. As the video became clearer, we can make out a small, creepy figure sprinting on two legs through the narrow passages. It has fast, erratic movements. The creature appeared both strange and frightening, leaving everyone wondering what they were seeing. The enhanced footage has really sparked a discussion among viewers. Some speculated it could be a cryptid, while others thought it might be a clever prank or even computer-generated imagery. Cave Guardian. I have a question. Would you believe your eyes if a giant stepped out of a cave and stared right at you? While camping in the hills of Mexico, a traveler was soaking in the peaceful scenery. Suddenly, he glanced across the water and saw a towering mountain with a dark cave carved into its side. To his shock, a giant figure slowly emerged from the cave. It seemed to be watching him. You can imagine how the traveler's heart must have raced as he locked eyes with the massive being. Was this giant a guardian of the cave? Alien encounter. Imagine you came across something glowing in the dark. Would you investigate it? Well, this person did, and kinda regretted that decision. Joshua went for a walk in the quiet woods when something strange caught his attention with its glowing eyes in the distance. Curiosity got the better of him, and he moved closer to get a better look. When he turned on his flashlight, he got a better view. A creepy-looking being with big, black eyes and a slim, cryptid-like body was looking at him. It sat there, glancing around, as if it didn't quite belong there. It looked like an alien. Maybe it had been dropped out of its spaceship and was stranded in the woods. Australian tunnel encounter. A group of friends decided to explore an old, abandoned train tunnel in the mountains of Australia. After hearing some strange stories about it, they made their way into the dark, strange passage. As they ventured deeper, they suddenly saw a bunch of glowing eyes shining at them from the darkness. It was a tall, skinny figure with multiple eyes, reflecting the faint light. One of them shouted that it was a skinhead. The creature moved towards them and tried to lunge at them. They all turned and ran as fast as they could, and somehow managed to outrun it and reach the far from the tunnel. Disturbing cave discovery. This next video comes from a Thai cave where some researchers were exploring an area for new species, but instead, they made a disturbing discovery inside a hidden cave. The cave was filled with unidentified old skulls and bones, arranged in a way that suggested some ritual had taken place there. The skulls were positioned in a weird way, and the bones looked deliberately placed, giving the impression that some kind of ritual had been performed. The atmosphere inside the cave was strange. They called the police to investigate it, and since then, there has been no news of it. Threeeyed Being. Next up, we travel to the narrow trails of the Rocky Mountains, where a strange creature has been spotted multiple times, but only at night. Hikers have shared stories about this mysterious being known for its glowing eyes. And the most amazing part is that it has 3 of them. One night, a group of friends decided to explore the trail. Suddenly, one of them spotted 3 eyes glowing brightly, staring right at them. The creature stood there, watching them closely. Its shape was hard to make out in the dim light, but the eyes were very visible. Shadow in the sewer. Whenever I hear the word sewer, only one thing comes to mind. It, the clown. A group of sweepers was busy cleaning out a deep sewer ridge when one worker spotted a strange shadow moving nearby. He decided to follow it, but with every step, he began to hear unsettling sounds, like someone munching on food. The rushing water beneath him was loud, but the creepy noises kept growing louder. Suddenly, the shadow seemed to sense him and startled. In the dim light, the sweeper saw creepy eyes and oddly shaped limbs. From a distance, it looked like a skinwalker. Despite feeling scared, he couldn't help but be drawn to those glowing white eyes. Night hike scare. This is why I don't prefer nighttime hikes. One night, a man went for a hike in the forests of Canada. As he went deeper into the woods, he suddenly heard creaking noises coming from behind. He turned around and pointed his flashlight toward the sound. To his horror, the light revealed a strange creature in the shadows. It didn't look like any normal animal you would come across on a hike. Its appearance was bizarre and terrifying. It was like a humanoid wearing a hoodie. If you pause, you will notice it has a very distorted face. His heart raced as fear took over. Without hesitation, ran as fast as he could to escape. The strange noises faded behind him, but the image of the creature must have stayed in his mind. Guardian of Dark. Could giant spiders really exist in our world? Take a look at this giant creature. Looks unsettling, right? Giant spiders have been part of many cultures and are believed to have existed in prehistoric times. In Papua New Guinea, the legendary Jubbafofi is said to have a leg span reaching up to 5 feet, spinning webs strong enough to trap small animals, and in some stories, even humans. The local Baka people view these creatures as ancient guardians of the underworld, and encountering one is considered a grave omen. The Amazon is home to similar legends of the Arapangas, giant spiders as big as small dogs, whose venom is rumored to paralyze large prey. Local tribes both fear and respect these creatures, and they avoid the forests they live in. Horned creature. Near Chicago, people have been talking about a strange creature spotted in the hills. This creature looked like a mix of a goat and something humanoid. It stood tall on two legs, had long, twisted horns, and its eyes glowed in the dark. Some believed it was a legendary being known as the Goat Man. Night after night, people reported hearing weird noises coming from the hills. One brave group of friends decided to explore the area. With flashlights in hand, they wandered into the woods. Suddenly, they caught sight of the horned figure hiding among the caves. They were getting close. The creature turned and vanished into the shadows. Was it really the Goat Man? Glowing eyes. I have a friend who is an archaeologist, and to him, the scariest thing is when they come across glowing eyes in dark, unknown caves. Same thing happened in this video. While surveying a remote cave, a group of archaeologists saw a figure resembling a human. The scariest part was that it had glowing eyes. At first, they thought it might be a trick of light or some kind of animal, but as they got closer, the figure didn't move, and those glowing eyes remained fixed on them. The team decided to leave as they were uncertain about what they had encountered. Since the incident, locals have started talking about strange creatures living in the caves. The archaeologists are still debating whether to return and investigate further. UFO disappears. While surveying mountains deep in the Amazon, a group of geologists heard an unusual noise, almost like a distant plane. They followed the sound through the dense forest to figure out what was causing it. As they got closer, the noise became louder, drawing them toward a hidden cave in the mountainside. They saw a UFO, hovering silently and glowing faintly, heading straight into the cave. Just as it reached there, the strange craft vanished into the darkness. What business would this craft have in the cave? Could it be that some aliens are already living there, gathering information about humans? Group of skinwalkers. Two friends went for a late-night bike ride on a deserted road in the southern United States. As they rode further down the empty stretch, something unusual caught their attention. They noticed a strange figure moving quickly across the road. It didn't seem fully human, and suddenly more creatures appeared, rushing through the shadows. Their strange figures were making them look like skinwalkers. The friends just turned their bikes around and sped off. Bird-rodent hybrid. Now this video will definitely shock you. Meet this strange being without a name. They say it's a mix between a bird and a rodent, something no one has ever seen before. It has the body of a rodent and wings like a bird. Some villagers claim they've seen it flying between the trees, while others say it runs across the ground faster than any animal they've seen. Could it be some rare, undiscovered species? People on the internet think it might be a prank or hoax to draw attention. New ancient humans. Did you know recently scientists in a South African cave found the bones of a new human-like species? These fossils, which are believed to be over 3 million years old, they have found a species with a brain roughly the size of an orange. Among the finds were the remains of 15 individuals, all found together in what looks like a burial site. This suggests that they may have practiced burial customs. This challenges the idea that only modern humans did this. The discovery was made in the cradle of humankind, an area near Johannesburg known for its fossil treasures. Because the cave entrance was quite narrow, a special team of slender fossil hunters was needed to reach the site. Secrets of Horton Mine.
Okay, we can go in here and just take a quick look. I don't think I'm going to explore this particular mine.
Some caves are known to be supernatural, but this one known as Horton Mine is something way scarier.
Looking down the tunnel here.
It has been proven by the locals to harbor otherworldly beings, but a daredevil still went to explore this mine. The atmosphere felt unsettling, with crumbling walls and chains hanging above. There was only a dimly lit passage. When he glanced back toward the entrance, he noticed something unsettling. One of the chains was swinging back and forth, despite the absence of any wind. A feeling washed over him, as if some unseen presence were moving the chains. The Horton Mine was built in the mid-1800s, and has become notorious for strange occurrences. and chilling tales. Stories about the spirits of miners who once worked there had circulated for years, proving there are trapped souls of the miners still inside. Bigfoot sighting.
Alright, just squat it down.
Traveling by train is usually boring, but for this couple, a Bigfoot sighting really made his day. While traveling on a train through the mountains of Colorado, the couple spotted a large creature moving around on the ground. It walked back and forth, and its size made them think it could be Bigfoot. I mean, no other being that big is able to walk like humans. The creature was massive. It looks like it's 10, 12 feet tall, and it walked upright like a human. For a few moments, they watched the creature as it wandered between the trees, sometimes disappearing from view. What a crazy video, right? Strange ritual. During a trip to Africa, a group of friends decided to explore a village. As they walked around, they suddenly heard a strange horn sound in the distance. They followed the noise and noticed fire lights across the lake, as if another village was hidden on the other side. Sounds weird, right? Wait, because it gets weirder. They hid behind a tree for a better view. What they saw was unsettling. The people in the distant village were performing some kind of ritual. From the footage, we can see they were raising fire torches while chanting. There were two huge shadows looming over the villagers, casting strange faces against the sky. The mysterious figures seemed to be part of the ceremony. The friends stayed hidden, quietly observing the ritual. What kind of ritual is that? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Mysterious encounter. One calm day in England, John wandered along the rocky beach, looking for interesting stones to add to his collection. As he bent down to inspect a particularly unique rock, he caught sight of something strange in the air. Suddenly, he saw a bizarre creature floating just above the water's surface. The thing had an unusual shape with long, flowing appendages. The man was both curious and a bit nervous. He stood still, unsure if what he saw was real or some prank. He couldn't help but wonder what it was. Could it be a lost marine creature or a cryptid from local legends? Alien undersand. A group of friends were digging at a beach in Spain when they felt something unusual beneath the sand. They continued digging and discovered a small, strange object that resembled a tiny weapon. They kept going, eager to see what else was hidden. To their surprise, they uncovered a small alien-like figure. The creature was tiny and looked like it had been buried along with its weapon for a long time. Giant on the hills.
Mira, 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 va corriendo, va corriendo.
In Victorville, California, locals have reported seeing a giant figure on the nearby hills. This mysterious creature has been spotted running back and forth, living on the other side of the hill. One sunny afternoon, a group of friends decided to hike up the hill to see if they could catch a glimpse of the giant. As they reached the top, they paused to catch their breath and looked around. Suddenly, they spotted a large shape darting between the trees. Their hearts raced as they tried to make out what it was. The figure appeared to be tall and lanky, with long limbs and an unusual walk. Many think that it was going home.
Mira, 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 va corriendo, va corriendo.
The subscribers pick. This person was gathering unique rocks in a cave in Turkey when he suddenly felt an unsettling presence. As he turned around, he was stunned to see a figure emerging from the shadows.
Bismillah! Bismillah! Bismillah!
It looked like a djinn, yet it had an oddly alien appearance. The thing stood there silently, as if it was just observing him. It was probably just waiting for him to act. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished behind the rocks. What do you think? Was it an alien, a djinn, or a humanoid cryptid?